Okay, guys, welcome, welcome. So I've got a lot of stuff to cover tonight. So let me go ahead and make sure we've got, um, if you've got background noise, go ahead and mute that out. And, okay, hold on. There we go. Okay, thank you. Okay, so welcome. I've been carrying this notebook. Tanya gave me this notebook at our last meeting because it has bumblebees on it. And I've been carrying it around for 3 days having brain dumps. Because as you can imagine, 19 years of being in briefings and training with Mary Kay and hearing stats and, you know, the facts, I've got it all up here. And so let's just say I can't remember it all, but that's why I have awesome offspring sales directors like Marianne and Trinity and Tammy, and maybe Jennifer will get on later, and they're gonna give some of their facts that they remember that impressed them. And so, of course, we won't cover it all because there's so many wonderful things about Mary Kay, and you guys know that. But what I want you guys to take from this is that when you are sharing this opportunity, these are great facts to let people know about this company, and even sometimes defend it. I'll defend this company to the core because there are, you know, untruths out there, because unfortunately there are a lot of bad direct sales companies, and so people that don't know any better like to lump us all together, and I'm always the first to come, you know, and speak out and say, oh, no, 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 no. And so I want you to know these facts so that you can do the same, so that everybody knows that Mary Kay is the best of the best and that we wrote the book. So I'm going to kind of read some of these so that I don't go off on my soapbox, because some of these facts I'm pretty passionate about, and so I just kind of want to stay with my script so that Marianne, Trinity, and Tammy can share some of their passionate facts with you as well. All right, so here we go. First of all, the one thing that we all get asked a lot is, are you an illegal pyramid? No. First of all, just like you said, illegal pyramids are illegal. And the Federal Trade Commission shuts them down very quickly. In fact, a very famous one, Advocare, just got shut down this last fall for being deemed an illegal pyramid scheme. So we are 57 years of history, and I'm going to tell you what makes us different. We are a dual marketing company. And so we sell products, and we sell a lot of products. When they start watching these direct sale companies and they just see recruit, 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 and nobody's really selling product, they're just making money off, I don't even know how they make money, that's when they shut them down. It's a legal pyramid scheme. Also, when you are a pyramid, the person at the top always makes different than everybody else. Well, in our company, we all make the same on our products. I don't make more than you on my products. And so we all make the same. With a pyramid, a legal pyramid, or a pyramid period, the person at the top can't be passed, okay? In Mary Kay, you can pass me, I can pass we don't have a national, but everybody can pass everybody, and nobody holds anybody back. Pyramid schemes, people get held back because they didn't come in and get at the top soon enough. That's pyramids. That is not ever the case. You can come in and you can build your own organization, and you get paid the same thing that I do. We can get paid the same thing as nationals. Everybody has a straight path to wherever they want to go in this business. And so now I hope you understand a little bit about illegal pyramids, and while we're not, we are dual marketing, and it's 57 years of history. And so at the end of this, I'm going to show you some accolades of Mary Kay, which will prove like there's no way we'd be an illegal pyramid. In fact, one of the latest books, she's on the cover of this with Oprah, Mother Teresa, and Sandra Day O'Connor. She was listed as one of the top 20 most influential women in American history. And so, or in history. And so when this came out and they wrote about Mary Kay, her chapter was on integrity. And so when this came out, Mary Kay sent this book to every single sales director. We were so proud that not only did she make the cover, but the chapter that she's in is integrity. Say no more, right? Say no more. All right, so let's move on. All right, so we talked about illegal pyramids. Why is Mary Kay not listed in Forbes? Okay, the list of top companies. Here's why. We are not, we're not publicly traded. And so only publicly traded companies get listed in the Forbes magazine or the Forbes top list of, profitable companies. We have not been publicly traded since the 80s. And when we were there, I believe we were only there for less than a year. The only reason that we were publicly traded was Mary Kay was starting to grow our business internationally, and she needed some cash, some liquid cash to grow that part of our business. And so we were publicly traded. And if you read her autobiography, there's a famous, she talks about the day she bought it all back. She got a call, and it was from a woman that said, her secretary said, Mary Kay, someone who owns Mary Kay stock is on the phone, wants to talk to you. Mary Kay picks up the phone, and she's like, Mary Kay. And Mary Kay, actually, I sound just like her because I've heard her talk about this. She said, since we're now a more mature company, don't you believe that we should go from pink Cadillacs to gray Cadillacs? And Mary Kay, got off the phone with her. She called down to, I guess, her attorney. She said, can you tell me how many shares of stock this woman owns? She owned, I think it was 2 shares of stock. Mary Kay bought the company back that day, and we have never been publicly traded ever since. Okay, so love that story. All right, we are currently in 37 countries. Okay, now if you've been in for a while, you may see it fluctuate from 33 to 35 to 37. Why do we fluctuate? Because most times, we are dealing with countries that are controlled by dictators. And when they sense that a woman is getting a little bit too much power, or the women in their country are getting too much power, they stop all companies like ours from coming in. And so, that's the problem with dictatorships. And so that's why we fluctuate. Every so often, you'll see the numbers change. And, they'll kick us out or whatever. All right. We are the only company that has ever been allowed to have an event inside the Russian Kremlin. The Russian Kremlin is their version of the White House. Only government events have ever been allowed in there except for the Mary Kay seminar. And it's because Mary Kay came into that country and changed the economic situation in there for a lot of women. And so we were very, very honored to get that privilege to do that. Our president, David Hall, is currently the president of the Selling Association. And so Mary Kay has been a leader in keeping our industry going and respectable. And so that's why we're always leading the way and have our hands in the direct sales organization, so that and association, so that laws don't change that would affect our business. And so you can always feel secure that nothing, everything is we're always going to be able to run our business from home and the way that we run it. Okay. Let's talk about something that comes up quite often, and it's Mary Kay's lifetime agreement with PETA. Okay, so if you don't know who PETA is they're the animal rights organization. Now, we've always had a lifetime agreement with them, but I do have to give you an update. Okay, I'm going to read what I've written out, because I'm very passionate about it. When I get to the part that I'm really passionate about, you will know I have to read this, because I will go off on my soapbox, and I want to cover everything that I have listed here. So I wrote it out so I wouldn't get too passionate. Due to our fingerprint in so many countries, PETA has recently come after us because we can't force other countries to stop testing on animals. You realize that we never test on animals here in America. We always test on us, the sales directors. But when we open up other countries and their culture is different, we are having a hard time forcing them to change their culture. And I'll get back to my notes here. They're trying to force our hands to pull out of these countries. Mary Kay is one of the top brands that has taken a stand and taken action and are leading the way to try to change the culture and show these countries the effective ways to test on humans. There's one other cosmetic company that's helping us in the fight. We will not pull out of these countries because if our presence is not there, change will never ever happen. Okay, now hang on. Changing a culture and a way of life doesn't happen overnight. It takes companies like Mary Kay to stand up to radical organizations who are just trying to make the headlines. Mary Kay being in China has helped save children. Per the national sales directors in China, China has surpassed us in the number of consultants. We have changed the women's lives in China for the good. And I'm going to give you some examples, okay? The extra money that these families now have because of an opportunity like Mary Kay, they have the ability now to have a second child. And when you have a second child in China, you have to pay the government 2 years' wages. And that second child can never enter public school system. It has to go to a private school. And so families would pool all their money just to have that second child. But that's why there's also so many abandoned children on the streets of China. My daughter was also abandoned at 5 days old because of the Chinese government. So now, knowing this, and the one-child policy, we are changing situations in families and saving children's lives, okay? This is a hard conversation to have at a skincare class and around the kitchen table, but I've had to have it. Lucky for me, it was in my home, in my studio, and I have pictures of my Chinese daughter all over my studio. These are the causes that matter. Human lives matter. How do you teach a culture that eats all animals not to test on them? It takes time, and they don't respect human life, and they don't respect animal life. And so it takes a lot of work to teach them to respect animals and not test on them. So when you have a customer that takes a hard stand, sometimes you have to just let them go. There are bigger problems in the world than this. Okay, so we will leave it at that. So that is what's going on currently with PETA and Mary Kay. Thank you, Marianne. Mary Kay in the United States will not ever test on animals. Okay, and you can be proud of that. Okay, let's talk about some products, all right? We have currently 25 scientists and researchers on staff with advanced degrees. These are the men and women who are developing and researching all the ingredients and hitting these home runs of these products that we are so proud of, okay? We are not cooking this product in our kitchen. We are very proud of our research and development. In fact, we have a new $125 million research and development center that is strictly just research and developing new products, okay? We do over 500,000 tests on ingredients every year before it ever goes into the product. No other company does that because they're all owned by the stock market and they're not debt-free and they won't spend the money, and the stock market will not spend the money on testing. They are controlled by them. And so most companies piggyback market off Mary Kay. And let me explain what piggyback market means. That means we launch a product and then you see it come out several months later, that's because they wait for us to do all the research and development and testing. And when we've launched it, then they piggyback market off us unless we put our patent on it. And if we put our patent on it, that's what I was trying to remember today. We now have over 1,500 patents that with Mary Kay's name on it. And so that's a lot of patents. And so that's the deal with piggyback market. When have we ever piggyback market? I'll tell you the one time that I've seen us piggyback market, and I know it was mineral powder. And I know why we held back, and it was because our testing, we had to prove that it was safe and effective. But when we launched mineral powder, we sold, was it 60 million, 30 million, 6 million? I can't, it was a lot. It was in the millions in 1 month. It was 6 million in 30 days. That's why I'm getting my 6 and my 30. When we launched mineral powder, we sold $6 million in mineral powder in 30 days. That's insane. All right. We have always had the 100% buyback guarantee for our customers. So if we have to return a product, we never have to mail it back in unless there's a something that the company needs to look at with manufacturing or organic mold that's been growing. So we just get the seal, we type it in, Mary Kay sends us a brand new one. We give whatever the customer needs. We back them, they back us 100%. You don't even pay tax or shipping on your product that you're getting replaced. It's an amazing benefit. And so nobody has to worry about the buying something and not liking it. It's 100% buyback guarantee. No cosmetic graveyards when you are wearing Mary Kay cosmetics. Okay. Allergies to products, let's talk about that. So no way is anyone ever allergic to the whole company, okay? If you go in under Mary Kay InTouch and you look under ingredients or product, and then you go to Product Central, you can search by ingredient, you can search by product, you can look at anything. And if someone say allergic to eucalyptus, which we actually had that, at our studio, we were in the middle of a big skincare event. We had somebody pull up their phone, get into InTouch, look up eucalyptus, and boom, boom. We knew what she could avoid. We created a skincare regimen for her right there at the table. No allergic reactions. But here's the deal. We have different ingredients in every product. We have 5 skincare lines. You're going to be able to customize something for that customer who has sensitivities. She just has to work with you. I tell people, unless it happens instantly, allergic reaction is instant. Hives, rash, swelling, itching, that's instant. But 2 weeks down the road, that is not an allergic reaction. That's actually our product working, and it's purging your pores. It's cleaning out your pores, and it's doing its job. But if you do have that allergic reaction and you have to go to the doctor, Mary Kay, all you gotta do is call Mary Kay Medical, and they will take care of the doctor bill. Yes, I know. Isn't that fantastic? But here's the thing. I love to say this at my skincare classes because there's nothing that irks me more when we're all sitting in a skincare class and somebody likes to interrupt me and say, I'm allergic to Mary Kay. And first of all, shame on her because she just ruined her hostess's party. And I like to say, well, honey, I like to use my Mary Kay voice. Well, honey, there's no way you're allergic to our whole company because do you put the same ingredients in your chocolate cake that you put in your lasagna? She's going to say no. I'm like, well, neither do we. So let's try one thing at a time. All right, so you can use your Mary Kay voice and use those same words. I really do get a kick out of saying that. And then they usually shut up and then you can move on. All right, so here, let's go on to breakouts. Oh, I've already skipped over. See, I knew not to do that. Okay, the business model. All right, see, I've done really good keeping it organized. Usually I just dump it all on you guys. All right. So the business model, face-to-face, toe-to-toe, belly to belly, don't be ashamed of that. I'm saying this because so many other direct sales use that to get people in and not join our company. They put that fear. You don't want to go into other people's homes. You don't have to leave your house. You can sell from the internet. And so that's how they get them in, but we'll talk about that in a second. Building relationships face to face and doing life is the greatest reward you will ever have. I'm going to just tell Kelly's story. She didn't know I was going to say this. You know, Kelly's been in Mary Kay, I think now 4 years. Kelly had about a year sabbatical. And one day, God put her on my heart. It was at noon. And I had texted her like 6 months before. She didn't respond. And that's okay. When you got to have a sabbatical, you got to have a sabbatical. You guys know I don't bother you. And I said, you know what? I'm going to text Catherine. And I text Catherine. I said, Catherine, you need to text Kelly. God just laid her on my heart. I'm going to try not to cry. I said, God just laid her on my heart. You need to text her and see if she wants to come back in. Catherine was busy. I was like, hurry up. By 5 o'clock, Catherine finally got around to texting Kelly. We didn't know this. Kelly had lost her job at lunch that day. Kelly comes back in and gets her Mary Kay going again, and she's on here tonight. And so if I didn't do life with Kelly, I'm connected to every single one of my consultants. Felicia is on here. We've been connected for 17 years. What if I didn't connect with her all those years and we stayed connected all these many years? When she thought about Mary Kay, if we didn't have that relationship, she wouldn't have picked up the phone and said, I'm ready now. You know, I'm going to be an empty nester. Caleb's going to college. I'm ready to do this. What if we didn't build that relationship? Dana, I don't know if Dana's on. Dana's 17 years. Her and Felicia are on the same path. Got the call from Dana in January. She was ready. She's going to retire from teaching in now 1 more year because we've been building that relationship for 17 years. And so do not be ashamed of our company that has the business model that we build relationships, that we do life with people, toe to toe, belly to belly, face to face. And so I'm proud of that you guys are, when we say you're a Mary Kay family, we are a family, the good, the bad, and the ugly, okay? All right, 50% commission. We are the only one. Now, I am going to do a disclaimer. I do think Premier has some kind of a tier that reaches 50%, but I know it's complicated. 50%, okay? 50%, be proud. No one else earns that. Sit down with your customers, your family, your friends who sell something else and do the simple math. Jewelry. Yes, I'm going to go there. This jewelry that paparazzi, I probably shouldn't have named them, $5 pieces. Y'all, 20% of $5 is $1. Show me the profit. I can't even buy my kids a piece of candy for $1. Nails, I love them. I wear them. I would never sell them. $11, 20%. That comes out to $2.20. I don't even know what I can't even buy my coffee at Dunkin' Donuts for $2.20. Help your people that you do life with that are selling another brand that doesn't have a 50% split, that's not a consumable product, that's not recession proof, okay? Many of these companies I've heard this, they tell their consultants, oh, you don't want to do your taxes on that. You don't want to include that in your taxes. We have a home-based business. Why not? You know why they tell them that? Because they're afraid when they actually sit down with someone who does math and knows math, they're going to say, I'm going to use Mary Kay's voice, honey, you realize there's no profit margin here. You're not making any money. There you go. So there, I love using Mary Kay's voice. Okay, give you guys a little bit of entertainment tonight. So there's no profit margin in those other companies. 50% is where it's at. Consumable product. If you can't eat it or wash it off down the sink, do not sell it, okay? Fight for your customers, your friends, and your family who've been roped into selling something with a very low commission and not a consumable product. I think I just said that. All right. They also tell them, oh, well, if you come with us and join our company, you get in on the ground floor. That's a pyramid. We've already talked about that. Number one on my list. But you don't have to have inventory. Let's talk about that. We don't either. We don't have to, but we do teach you how to be successful. We teach you how to be a businesswoman. And if you sell something, you got to have something to sell. All right. No one wants to wait on their makeup. I'm sorry. We teach we teach businesswomen how to build their inventory through profit. And if you decide Mary Kay's not for you, guess what? And this is what you can tell them. They don't tell them when they're trying to rope them into their company. If you decide that Mary Kay's not for you down the line and you have inventory, she buys it back at 90% buyback guarantee. So there is never, ever any financial risk of having product for your customers. When you have product, you look like a real businesswoman. Think about this. What would you do if you walked into your favorite store and they had decided to play it safe and they took out all their inventory and they're taking orders? It's the same thing, all right? Speak up when you hear someone speaking untruths about our business, okay? Do not let them rope us into all those other bad direct sales. Consumable products create future business that will pay you over and over for the work you do. Never sell something that you can't wash down the sink or eat it. I just said that. Recession proof. Let's talk about that. During the Great Depression, and I did not put anything in my notes that is not proven, okay? During the Great Depression, there are 3 types of businesses that never failed during the Great Depression: alcohol and tobacco, movie and theater, and cosmetics. These are emotional purchases. Run with it. We sell an emotional purchase. After 9/11, Walmart showed a loss in every single department except for cosmetics. And that month after 9/11, Mary Kay had the biggest month in the entire history of the company. I think we were 40 years old at that time. In 40 years, it was our biggest month ever. Talk about an emotional time. Now, the COVID vacation, all right, let's just call it what it is. Our numbers have not come in yet, but I can tell you from our area and from the delay in the shipping, because the company said, we got a lot of orders in. We have spun on a dime, and we have figured out how to thrive in this situation. So once again, the recession proof is proven true. And then you can even call this a recession. There was no economy. We are still thriving, okay? Marketing, building a team, the other avenue of income, all right? Why do we have a marketing plan? Here's why. Mary Kay doesn't have a staffing service to hire sharp professional women to sell this product. She will never sell out on us, okay? And so she teaches us on how to go out and share this opportunity to build from there. She will never put our products in a department store. She will never be the third party connection to your customer. It always has to go through a active consultant. We can rest assured that her family has committed to continuing her legacy of what she started this company on. Direct sales, please read her autobiography, and I won't have to go through all this, but Mary Kay herself was in direct sales. That's what she raised her 3 children on. She was left with 3 children with no income. She didn't even know how to drive a car, and she started selling children's books door to door. So this company will never, ever sell out on us once again. Other companies get people in by saying, start with a company like Mary Kay on the ground floor. Once again, I said that is a pyramid scheme, okay? I want you to stop thinking small. And when people talk about Mary Kay, you got to know that we sell to anybody in the United States. We have no territories. There's over 328 million people as of 2018 in this country. 328 million. When you become a sales director, you can start building globally, okay? All over the world, the countries that we're in. Even when we open up a country, you have the opportunity to open it up with Mary Kay. But let's get back to the 328 million people in the United States. There's only less than 1 million consultants in the United States. And I'll tell you, only a third will work. Okay, so if a third of us are working our business, and if I'm one in the top, I'm in the top 2%, I keep about 160 to 200 customers. It doesn't take thousands and thousands of customers to be successful. Okay, so when people say, everybody sells Mary Kay and you can't make any money, what? Yes, you can. We're going to talk about more about that in a second. Tell them to stop thinking small, because they are. They're just thinking about just the people that they know. But you can go anywhere in this United States and sell this product. Sharing this opportunity, please don't wait until you feel successful to share this opportunity. You are not responsible for your team members' success, nor are you responsible for their failures. You're not responsible to train them. That's the director's job. That's why our commission checks are so high and we work so hard, because Mary Kay pays us to go train these new consultants so that you can keep growing and building your business and getting the knowledge to become whatever you want to become in Mary Kay. Don't deny someone their destiny because you feel like you're lacking the knowledge. Start doing it. Take a piece of it. Mary Kay says, don't just take a piece of the pie. Take the whole pie. People will come into your life for a season, a reason, or a lifetime, but it's not up to us to decide how long they stay. And so don't have a fear of passing it on because you're afraid of what they will or won't do or what you haven't done, okay? Just go ahead and share this opportunity. Our marketing plan. Now, if we go a little later, y'all please hang on. It is recorded, but we've got some good stuff. And I know sometimes we do go late, but it's really good stuff that you could really benefit from. Our marketing plan is actually taught at Harvard. Harvard says that the Mary Kay marketing plan is one of the finest ever created. Why did Harvard study our marketing plan? It's because one of their graduates, Gloria Mayfield Banks, actually graduated from Harvard, and she is now one of the top money earners of all times in Mary Kay. And so they did a case study in their business department on her and Mary Kay, and the name of it is Gloria Hilliard Mayfield Banks and Mary Kay. And that's how we got famous for Harvard. My husband in his business classes talked about Mary Kay, and Andy actually did his senior thesis on Mary Kay Cosmetics because he graduated in 2008. So I'd already been in Mary Kay for 7 years. And he actually did his senior thesis because he had to do it on a company, Mary Kay and our family. And so, you know what, on one of our next things, I'll kind of read you some of his paper on about the company and about us. And it's tear-jerking, let me just say. All right, training. Let's talk about our training. We are self-taught. Why don't we have famous motivational speakers come in? Mary Kay said, no one knows our business better than we do. We're in the field, toe-to-toe, belly-to-belly, face-to-face. And so she has never allowed outside motivational speakers and businessmen, businesswomen to come in and teach us. We are self-taught. Mary Kay says those who show up, go up. She says if you come to, you miss one meeting, you're sick, you miss 2 meetings, you're dying, you miss 3 meetings, you're dead. She was a firm believer in showing up, okay? Here's some of the events that we have that we never miss. Beach Retreat is October. Leadership is for directors, but sometimes they allow future sales directors in red jackets to go, and it's always in January, and it's always in a fun city. This coming January is in San Antonio. Last January it was in San Diego. Fun cities. And so it's the best of the best. And then we have career conference in March. We always go local. We'll either go to Duluth or Birmingham, and that's usually a day and a half. And then seminar July. We're not having it this year because of COVID, but every year Dallas seminar July, Dallas, Texas is the place to be. The entire city lights up pink, Mary Kay signs, and I'll never forget this. My very first seminar, I was on one of the shuttle buses, and somebody said something to it was a new consultant just like me, and she said, wow, this city really, welcomes the Mary Kay consultants. And the bus driver said, I'll start crying, well, it's Mary Kay's daughters coming home every year. Oh, I know. Y'all, this is such an amazing family. So you don't want to miss seminar. Okay. Everything I know came from these events. Okay. Oh my gosh, I have so much. I hope y'all hang on. Please don't be mad if we go over. No one comes in this business knowing this stuff. I mean, knowing the business unless you're born in it, like Mary Beth's born in it, her first class, $256 at 8 years old to 6, 8, and 10-year-olds. Who does that? We have top directors and national sales directors now who their mothers were in Mary Kay. And so dig in, plug in, and learn this business so that you can reap the rewards too. Selling is honorable. I have to throw this in here because Mary Kay used to talk about this. She said, selling is just as honorable as buying. Our country is all about selling, okay? Wherever somebody sold you the phone you're on, somebody sold you the computer you're on, the clothes you wear, somebody is selling something. And so it is just as honorable. I say that too because I had issues with that. I have to get over that. In Touch. In Touch is your friend. Play on it. Get familiar with it. There's so many great things. All right, let's talk about free cars, all right? I do want to say one thing, though. When you have people that come into Mary Kay, if they have other little things that they do, I've always said this. You do one thing and you do it well. You can't chase two rabbits. They both get away. Do this. Do it big. Do it well. Focus, and that's all you'll have to worry about. So let's talk about free cars. They are earned, not won. Okay, I'm going to give you some really deep details about this. I haven't had a car payment since late 2002. They've either awarded me a car or car allowance, okay? So the 10 years that I didn't take, or actually it was 8 years, I had my pink Cadillac from 2008 to 2010, earned another one, but it was a 5-seater. I needed to keep my 7-seater. You guys know the story. From 2010 to 2018, kept taking the car allowance because I didn't take a new car. You can either get a new car every other year or get the car allowance. So I got the car allowance for 8 years in a row. That car allowance, I had the pink Cadillac title, my name, paid off my husband's Toyota truck, bought a brand new Toyota minivan, paid for my son's Honda Accord, paid for my son's used Lexus. I had 5 car titles just before I earned the Chevy Traverse, stopped getting the car allowance. 5 car titles that Mary Kay paid for. When somebody says, oh, those cars aren't free, shut your mouth. Shut your mouth. Yes, they are. All right. When you hear people say they're not, oh, I just said that. See, I'm getting ahead of myself. In the non-Mary Kay world, let's say, okay, you have a car and you requalify every other year, okay? What happens if you don't keep up your quota? I'm going to tell you the details. So on the months that you go over the production requirements, that's the only time that you have requirements is when you have a Mary Kay car, you're earning a Mary Kay car, you're becoming a sales director, or you're a sales director. Only time that you have quotas, okay? So when you have months that go over the quota for the car you're driving, that extra production goes into what we call a maintenance account. For any time that you have a month that falls low, Mary Kay pulls from that maintenance account to pad it so you don't go below your quota, okay? And so here is the details. So consultant car is the Chevy Malibu, okay? Director car, premier car is a Equinox. Premier Plus, that's a little bit grade above the Premier. Chevy Traverse and Mini Cooper. Cadillac, that's the pink Cadillac. Cadillac Plus is the 7-seater Cadillac. The team production and average monthly income for those cars is the team production. The Chevy Malibu is $5,000. Premier is $9,000. Monthly production, okay? Premier Plus, which is what I drive, $12,500. Cadillac, $17,000 a month. Cadillac Plus is $20,000 a month. Car credits are fun. When you get to this part, and your sales director, during those months, every time you have a personal recruit, new recruit that comes in that places at least a $600 order, you get a $600 car credit that goes into your maintenance account. They just give you extra $600 in your maintenance account. Isn't that wonderful? All right, let's talk trademark violations, and I'm almost finished. This is big for you to know, okay? I want to address this because I want you to know that Mary Kay has an entire department that only works on this. And every January at leadership, every seminar, Mary Kay calls all the sales directors into a special meeting to give us an update on this, the selling on Amazon, the selling on eBay. It is a trademark violation, and they tell us everybody that was slapped with $1 million lawsuit. They don't play around. So if you buy or sell Mary Kay products on Amazon, you could be slapped with $1 million lawsuit. Your customers, please tell them if they say, well, what about all the Mary Kay products on Amazon? Here's what we know. Our products are not sealed. So you can only imagine what the perverts are putting in there. Okay, they're putting in, let's just say, putting in stuff I don't want to mention. We know this. So please, if you suspect that your customers are trying to buy their Mary Kay off one of these sites, you tell them, remember, our products are not sealed and you don't know what you're getting. It's very, very sick, okay? And so Mary Kay works really hard to shut these people down, and some of these husband and wives get slapped with $1 million lawsuit. It will ruin you financially, okay? Let's see. All right. Marianne, I'm going to let you and Trinity and Tammy go ahead and speak, and then I will look and see if I need to talk about anything. I think I was almost finished. Okay, go ahead.
And Jennifer is here too. So just really quick, my favorite one is also that our company was founded upon God first, and that the culture, we live that. And I remember as I was learning my Mary Kay business and teaching, I started to see the discrepancies of when your education system isn't, the values aren't based on God first, why there's problems. And I was like, my gosh, if we would just run things the way Mary Kay did, we would not have these problems in our education system. And then as my husband got a new job, his very first corporate job, and he'd talk about it, I mean, every single day, I was like, well, if they would just run things like Mary Kay did, there would not be those problems. And so I am just so proud of how this company runs it. And then secondly, whenever people come up with objections, what I have learned is that I ask questions. I'm not the most argumentative person. I'm a peacemaker, recovering passive aggressive person. And so what I have learned on how to do this, number one, is being here and getting information. When you don't know, it's hard to battle. And so when people say things like, oh, it's a scam, or they say negative things, I say, so tell me, what does that mean to you? Or, so tell me, what do you mean? And I ask them to explain. And lots of times they can't, because they're just repeating something that they heard. Mm-hmm. They were uneducated, they were ignorant. And so I use that as, by listening and asking questions, learning to have good conversation, I open the door. And lots of times, I can say, I hear what you're saying. And I can understand how you would think that, but what I learned actually is, and then I get to explain the truth instead of just saying, nuh-uh, that's not right, and then spitting out my things, because then they don't want to listen to you. They're guarded. And so I have learned that using that conversation model helps open the door, so that way they're educated and they still love us, and they still love Mary Kay.
Awesome. All right, who wants to go next?
Trinity? I can go next.
Okay.
So a couple of ones that I had that weren't mentioned, I was like scratching through them as you went, Michelle, was that we, you may have said this, we perform 300,000 tests annually on our products to make sure that they are the utmost quality and just superb performance. So that's a kind of a fun fact. Also, why does Mary Kay use the bumblebee as a symbol? That was her favorite symbol because the bumblebee is so large, its body is so large, and its wings are so small that aerodynamically it should not be able to fly. But Mary Kay Ash said that no one told the bumblebee that it could not fly, so it went on flying anyways. So I love, love, love that story. She also founded the company back in the 1960s with her entire life savings of $5,000. So she was all in on this company. So if you ever question if you should be all in, Mary Kay Ash was all in. And then the last one is that Mary Kay has more women who have made over $1 million than any other company in America. So that's kind of a really big deal. The women in America that are in Mary Kay are making the most money of all the women in America. Okay, yeah, there you go.
Awesome. So, Tammy, you want to go next? I'm still seeing Jennifer's driving home from a baseball tournament, and oh, she can share. So Jennifer, you go after Tammy, okay?
Okay, so one thing that I really love about this business is we've all learned a very valuable skill. Like when I come into Mary Kay, I knew nothing about skincare. And actually at that time in my life, I was struggling. I was like, I really need to know more about skincare. I need to do something. I'm at that point, I'm aging. And then of course I was unhappy with my current job. And then here it was one day, Michelle Byers just appears in front of me and she solved both problems. But anyway, but learning a skill, like we all know about skincare. So we're not just pushing a product out to people saying, hey, buy this. We know about that product. We know how to adjust and create the perfect skincare regimen for everybody. And so that's one thing that I think is the biggest. And my husband and I were having a conversation last night. I forget how it started and what he had said. And I was like, no, we don't just sell products. I mean, we are teaching and we're taking care of our customers and we're building these relationships. And so it's not like you're just taking their money and, okay, nice to see you, bye. You know, I mean, when your bag wears out, you can give me a call. But that's my biggest thing. And then had actually talked to someone that was involved in another direct sales. And she was like, but you spend so much time going out and doing parties. Well, that's a big thing. I mean, like Michelle mentioned, I mean, we're getting to know these people. We're building these relationships. But what they do is they're posting 3 times a day on social media. How much time are you spending a day posting 3 times a day and replying to comments and everything? And you're not really building a relationship. You're not getting to know people. You're just pushing it out on people constantly. And then with that too is the cars, like Michelle said, you earn a car. Well, this one program, okay, once they get to the level to where they earn a car, they have to go to the dealership, pick out their car. It doesn't have the logo on the car. So what's the point in driving a car that you've earned? Because my husband said, when you earn your car, are you going to take the car credit and pay for the new truck? Or are you going to get the car? And I said, I'm going to get the car because people see that I have earned this Mary Kay car and it does exist and it's going to help build my business. So they go to this dealership, they pick out a car. Well, they're responsible for negotiating the terms of the lease or financing the purchase of the car. And this one person had to put down $10,000. Michelle Byers, have you ever gone to the dealership and given them any money? So I was like, how is that earning anything? She just paid $10,000. So, well, then, of course, the company gives them money monthly, which is the car allowance, basically. But they're responsible for the registration. They're responsible for everything. And if, for some reason, they don't meet the qualifications and they lose that car credit, guess what? They're stuck in the lease or the contract on that car, and they're responsible to pay for it. So that, it just amazes me that, you know, some companies come in with, oh, I've earned my car. No, Mary Kay consultants and directors have earned their cars, their free cars.
And you don't pay a penny, and it's, you don't even have to pay your insurance is paid through Mary Kay, and you only pay 85% of it. It is just an amazing deal. All right, Jennifer, are you ready?
Can you hear me?
Yes.
Well, the biggest thing I wanted to share was something that I love sharing at my parties. And I just think it really brings home something that you mentioned earlier about our science and research behind our products. It's one thing that the FDA requires everybody in the skincare industry to provide feedback or research based on what their products are supposed to deliver, but the FDA only requires it on individual products. And so I love sharing with my clients and those who are my potential clients that when Mary Kay became debt-free years ago, they could have just continued to pocket that money. Anybody else in America probably would have, but not Mary Kay. She took the extra money and put it into extra research so that she could show what her products deliver as a team. So when you use our cleanser with our moisturizer or with our supplements, this is what's going to be delivered. Instead of mix matching with other brands. And so I also love sharing the fact that when you do mix brands, then you're playing your own chemist. And unless there's someone sitting around the table tonight who has a chemist background, that might not be something you want to try. And so I always love sharing that. And the fact that Mary Kay could have pocketed that money. Instead, she put her money where her mouth was and wanted to prove what her products could do as a team. So I love that part.
Yes. Love, love, love that. All right. So guys, thank you, Jennifer. So to end tonight, I want to encourage you guys, if you'll go on to InTouch and you'll go under, I think it's Heritage. I think that's where I found it. You can see all of the books that that Mary Kay has talked about. Other people have written books and that they've talked about Mary Kay in their books. Okay, that's a list right there. You can also find a list of books that are currently on the market. Okay, that Mary Kay herself wrote, and I have many of those on my shelf right now. There's another list of books that Mary Kay they've mentioned and talked about Mary Kay, and another list. So it's 3 pages. So also accolades, tributes when she died. Here are some of the people that are very famous that wrote cards. Laura Bush, Fannie Flagg, she's the author of Fried Green Tomatoes. Roger Staubach, the great quarterback, Hall of Fame quarterback for the Dallas Cowboys. Dr. Robert Sheila from the Crystal Cathedral. And so these are just some famous people that paid tribute to her when she died. And then you can also go on there and under the museum and see all of her awards. All of the awards. I mean, it's pages and pages of awards that this woman was honored with all the way from 1976 all the way to 2007. Even 6 years after she died, she was still getting awards. That is a company that you can be proud of. And so that's why I get fired up. That's why I walked around with my new notebook that Tanya gave me for 3 days, writing down everything that I could remember about this company that I was proud of, the facts, the true facts. Because here's what I say to myself. I don't know why everybody doesn't do this. This is the greatest opportunity in the world. And I hope after tonight that you all agree. And I just want to thank you for staying on past your bedtime probably. This is recorded if you want to go back and just write, make more notes. And I love that we have this technology. All right, I'm going to end it. I'm going to stop recording and I'll stay on if anybody wants to chat with me. But you can hang up. We're done. Good night, everybody. Good night.